China is asserting claims to all the waters and airspace of the South China Sea. And they're doing it not primarily with military or law enforcement vessels. They're doing it with an armed militia that camouflages itself by operating on fishing boats. The Maritime Militia is really the tip of the spear for China's power projection in the South China Sea. So the South China Sea is the most contested piece of geography on the planet. The largest recent deployment we've seen of this militia has taken place over the last 7 months around Thitu Island, which is occupied by about 100 Filipino civilians and a small military contingent. China has had dozens of these militia boats surrounding the island every day. On a shot from December 20th, what you see is 95 Chinese boats, the heaviest day that we have monitored around this feature. Every one of them are large, none of them broadcasting the signals that they should be to avoid collisions, none of them with nets or other gear in the water, none of them fishing. They just sit there for long periods of time, monitoring and intimidating the Filipinos. It seems clear that China's goal in the South China Sea is to establish effective dominance of all the waters and airspace within what they call the 9-dash line. They don't want to do that by fighting a military conflict with the United States or anybody else. What they want to do is use civilian actors, these paramilitary forces, to effectively control the space, make it impossible for their neighbors to operate, and therefore win without ever having to fight. The U.S. needs to turn away from strictly military responses. The U.S. Navy has a role in deterring outright aggression and backing up our partners. But the U.S. Navy cannot secure fishing rights for Filipinos. It can't secure law enforcement rights for the neighbors. The only thing that can do that is a diplomatic and maybe economic effort and try to convince China to modify its claims and especially its behavior, to take these paramilitary forces off the board before there's a crisis.